Z Business Plus makes managing fuel easy. It's fee-free with choice benefits like 8 cents off every litre, every day, everywhere you need us. Sign up today for the 2022 CanStar Blue Best Small Business Fuel Card. Z is for New Zealand. T's and C's apply.
The FIFA World Cup is live on Sky Sport.
Oh, what a goal!
See every game of football's ultimate showcase.
Glorious!
You need to subscribe to Sky Starter and Sky Sport to watch this premium content. For details, see sky.co.nz.
Welcome to Football FIFA with Jason Pine.
I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Powered by News Talk ZB and Sky Sport, the home of the FIFA World Cup. All 64 matches live.
Welcome into Football Fever, your daily World Cup podcast in association with Sky Sport. Every game live on Sky Sport. Jason Pine, David Choate with you to wrap day 7 of action in Qatar, and it has been quite a day. Let's start with Argentina v Mexico in Group C. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, cometh the Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Messi's here! That's what they came for! The Magic Man! One more Messi moment! And Argentina are alive!
Argentina are alive, Chody, and it's Lionel Messi again who's jolted them back to life.
Yeah, you can't keep him out of the headlines, can you? You look at Messi, he doesn't even look like a footballer, does he? He's just sort of walking around at times, keeping the ball on his toe. Magic Messi, magic moment. For an hour, it looked like Argentina could be the big casualty or the first side to really underperform, but give Messi 2 yards on the edge of an area and you're asking for trouble. I wouldn't give him 6 inches, Piney. He is the business.
He is the business. One of their new stars as well, 21-year-old Enzo Fernandez, adding a second. So they're not just a one-man band. They're close to it. But how now do you assess their ability to go, beyond, say, the round of 16, the quarterfinals? A lot of people were calling them favourites before the tournament.
Yeah, well, you can sort of see why they're favourites. Anyone who's got Messi sitting in their side, he can turn something from nothing, and he can run a game. So there's no question about that. And the likes of Enzo Fernandez, that second goal, an absolute peach. Check that out when you get a chance. They can go deep because they're a bit miserable, and they're a bit one of those sides that could just sort of miserable their way to a final. It's happened in World Cups before. You've watched sides that haven't really been easy on the eye, because you wouldn't say they were easy on the eye today. In fact, for lots of that match, I wasn't seeing how they were going to get out of it. Clearly, Messi had an idea. He just was going to rocket it in from the edge of the area, but they can go deep. I still don't think so now. Looking at them, I don't think they look anything like some of the other sides we've seen, but they can improve. They'll need to.
They'll need to indeed. Their destiny, though, is in their own hands now. A win over Poland on Thursday morning, and they will be into the round of 16. Poland, though, still have the upper hand, really. They've beaten Saudi Arabia 2-0. Our man Robert Lewandowski finally got a World Cup goal, Chody.
Yeah, he waited a long time, but he got gifted one, didn't you? That's the way to get your first goal. What a horrible touch on the edge of the area, looking to roll it forward with the bottom of your foot, and you roll it straight to Lewandowski and leave him one-on-one. He just slots under the keeper. Regulation stuff. Although his emotional response suggests that it's been weighing on his shoulders heavy. I'm not sure. He almost looked like he was shedding a tear, didn't he? He was highly emotional for a goal that was regulation, one that won't make his best goals, his best 10 goals, but I tell you what, probably his most important.
Very important for Poland. Their chances of reaching the last 16 for the first time since 1986 are boosted. They need just a point against Argentina on Thursday to qualify. Mexico, Saudi Arabia remain alive, though, heading into their clash, although they'll need things to go their way. Poland 4 points, Argentina 3, Saudi Arabia 3, Mexico 1 point. It's Argentina v Poland and Saudi Arabia v Mexico in the final matches in that group. Let's get into Group D. Australia. Yes, our Aussie cousins have taken a huge step towards the round of 16, beating Tunisia 1-0. The goal coming from Mitch Duke on Sky Sport.
Reflection on that, Duke's header! Magnificent goal! Duke is the king for the Socceroos.
Mitch Duke has scored 5 goals in his last 8 starts for Australia, 4 of them headers. He loves a headed goal. First win at the World Cup for Australia since 2010. Just their second clean sheet in 18 matches at the World Cup. And that ended a run of 14 consecutive games in which they've conceded. Graham Arnold, the first Australian-born coach to win a match at a World Cup.
Proud of the boys. They showed that great fighting Aussie spirit tonight. We're in their faces all the time, and I just expect that we made the nation very proud.
Sounds like he's been doing a bit of shouting there, Graham Arnold, Chody.
Yeah, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. I can imagine Graham Arnold leading the chant. I found myself fist pumping and carrying on like a knocker. I was thrilled for them. And Mitchell Duke, that's a real moment. That's a neat goal, isn't it? The cross that came in, it's deflected, it skims off the surface, arcs towards his head. And there was only one way he could score that goal, putting it exactly where he put it, with a looping, arcing head that went into the far side of the goal. It was a real peach to watch.
It was a great goal, a really, really great goal. As you say, you see it from sort of behind, and it's the only place he can put it for that to be a goal, just beyond the outstretched hand of the goalkeeper, up against a formidable Tunisian crowd as well. I mean, there was, I know there were Aussies there, but mainly Tunisians. So Australia now play Denmark on Thursday morning. The group, France are through with 6 points. We'll get to them in a sec. Australia 3 points, Denmark 1, Tunisia 1. If Australia draw with Denmark, they'll go through. Can Australia get a draw against Denmark, and how will they set up?
Yeah, well, of course they can. There's no question about that. They were carved up a little bit by France. Denmark aren't France, but they're not far off it. So it'll be a big ask for them. So they clearly go in underdogs. But the old Aussie spirit, the old Aussie battler, Aussie, 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 oi, 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 I say. You'd love to see it. It'll be a huge ask. Denmark will have the bulk of the ball and likely the bulk of the chances, but never back against an Aussie.
Never back against an Aussie. Denmark, you're right, do know that if they win the game, they go through. So their destiny is in their own hands as well. The reason they've found themselves here, though, is because the Danes have gone down 2-1 to France. France, the first nation to book their passage into the knockout stages. Inevitably, Kylian Mbappe was the one who put France ahead just after the hour mark. The Danes levelled 7 minutes later, but Mbappe not done by a long shot, scoring the winner in the 86th minute on Sky Sport.
Griezmann will pick it up. Swirls it in for Mbappe! Once again, he has his say.
Give the man the golden ball now for the World Cup. Incredible.
Well, we've just talked about Messi, who I feel like is a star that is setting, or a sun that is setting. He's at the end of his time, but this star is rising and continues to rise. Mbappe with 2. And I don't know, I thought there was close to a sending off in this one with Christensen, as Mbappe looked to be breaking over halfway. He was exploding into the opposition half. Hell of a long way from goal, but I tell you what, I'd back him from getting goal side on halfway. Mbappe scores for mine. So Christensen, who got them back into the game, was a little lucky. Mbappe could have easily been calling hat-trick, but he's exciting to watch, isn't he?
The way he moves across the grass, Chody, as you say, if you haven't seen this, have a look for it, because you're right, he's brought down, but there are 2 other Danish defenders in the vicinity. It's almost like 1 against 3. I back him in that race.
Oh, absolutely. He was smoking them. He was absolutely heading down the path of one-on-one glory against the Danish keeper, Schmeichel, and I'd back him. His power, his pace. There's something really to like about Mbappe's play at the moment, as a star on the rise. But
a different kind of goal for the second goal as well. He had to be quite brave to get to the back post. Not all strikers go in there, and he's sort of bundled it across the line, but just the courage and the game awareness to be in the right place at the right time.
Striker's instinct, that's what you call that, and he's got that in spades. So, yeah, Mbappe's he's different to Messi. He's explosive, he's powerful, frightening to mark. I mean, you wouldn't want to mark him. He is a handful. And if he keeps this form up, put a line under him for picking up the golden boot.
Absolutely. And France are through now to the round of 16, the first nation to secure their place in the knockout round.
Football fever.
Let's have a quick look at tonight's action in Groups E and F on Sky Sport. I'll get your views on each of these games, Chody. 11 o'clock, Japan, Costa Rica. Japan can take a massive step towards the round of 16 if they win here. I think we've mentioned a couple of times on this podcast how terrible Costa Rica were in that loss to Spain first up. I mean, can you see them turning it around, Costa Rica, to even be competitive against Japan?
not on their first match showing, but interesting for this one, neither of these sides had much ball in the first game. I think Japan lived on about 27, and I don't know, did Costa Rica...
18%.
Yeah, it was less than 20%, I thought that. Two sides who haven't seen much ball, but you'd have to think Japan got too much going forward for Costa Rica as well. The goals they scored, is it the Asano one... bringing it down,
yes, lovely,
and volleying in at the near post. That was a wonderful goal. They've got sort of legs to go with their overall smart play. So Japan favoured. Costa Rica were dreadful. They would have to be better, wouldn't they? They'd have to be better against the Japan side. But I don't see them getting home. I think Japan go and get the 3 points.
Yeah, Japan can move to 6 points. That wouldn't quite get them home because there is a set of circumstances under which 3 teams in that group would still finish on 6 points. We'll get to the other 2 in a minute and what is an absolute doozy. 2 a.m. though, Belgium against Morocco. Belgium can book their passage to the knockout rounds with a win. They were anything but convincing against Canada the other day, weren't they, Belgium? But you fancy they beat Morocco?
I've got the green highlighter through them, Piney, if you want to know that. But they'll have to be a lot better. They'll have to be a lot better than they were. I thought they were ordinary. Did you see De Bruyne? He picked up man of the match, but he actually said he wasn't sure who was watching what and I agree, Kevin De Bruyne will not play that badly again, I don't think. I thought he was really ordinary in that opening match. He won't be that ordinary again. And Morocco will just smell a bit of blood in the water, I think, because they saw a Belgium side off colour.
5 a.m. Croatia, Canada, both still looking for their first win of the tournament. Canada still looking for that very first World Cup goal. Croatia runners-up last time, of course. How do you see this one playing out?
Got the green through Croatia. I think they'll win it. I think they've got too much probably for Canada. Canada, I've got a bit of a romantic thought about. I just sort of hope they do something special because that'd be a nice story. Football throws up a fair amount of sort of romance and tragedy. I hope... Canada get a romantic moment, but I feel like Croatia will be too strong, too sort of metronomic in midfield. They'll just keep recycling and probably grind their way to a win.
And then at breakfast time or thereabouts, 8 a.m, what a doozy. Spain against Germany. Absolutely must win for Germany after their opening loss to Japan. Surely Germany won't be going home after 2 games.
Don't count on it. This is the one that really looms large, doesn't it? Even this morning, Argentina, you thought, is there going to be a big-name casualty? Well, Germany are the next big-name casualty on the list. This could be the first sort of big name to go out of the tournament. Spain looks so good in their opening game. Germany will be desperate, though, so don't back against them too heavily. But I fancy Spain. I think Spain could go and do the job, and I think Germany might be... facing an uphill battle. I just don't think they've got their balance right, particularly going forward offensively. I don't see them with a massive threat. Yeah,
it is such an interesting battle tomorrow morning. Spain v Germany, that wraps the 4 games of action. Starting tonight at 11 o'clock, Japan, Costa Rica on Sky, 2 a.m. Belgium, Morocco, 5 a.m. Croatia, Canada, 8 a.m. Spain, Germany to wrap what will be another fantastic day of football at this World Cup in Qatar. Well, I think we've got through the first 7 days okay, Chody. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling like a little bit of an Aussie. I'm loving it like a lizard drinking, Piney.
The FIFA World Cup is live on Sky Sport.
Oh, what a goal!
See every game of football's ultimate showcase.
Glorious!
You need to subscribe to Sky Starter and Sky Sport to watch this premium content. For details, see sky.co.nz.
The Football World Cup's the biggest sporting event in the world, and you can keep up with the play with me, Jason Pine, and my good mate and former All-White David Choate on Football Fever. Listen daily throughout the World Cup as we bring you all the action from Qatar. Choate and I love football. We can't wait for the World Cup to get underway. So join us as we live through all the goals, all the drama, all the glory. Download Football Fever from iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.